So this is crazy. I actually just bought the house right behind me. And the reason why it's so crazy is because it's actually my neighbor's property. I actually literally live right next door. For the last 20 years, I probably have seen this house over and over, but I would have never imagined to be buying it today. In this video, I'm gonna give you an entire breakdown of everything we're gonna do to this property, from the renovations to the design, all of it. A full walkthrough of this entire house. And at the very end, I'm also gonna give you, relax. And at the very end, I'm also gonna give you a full breakdown of all the numbers, from the cost, the fees, the lender points, everything, and especially the amount of profit we're gonna make on this deal. With that said, let's go right inside and take a full tour of his property. So right as soon as you walk in, you're greeted by this beautiful, smelly living room. It actually does smell. I mean, the owner had carpet. So let me start giving you a kind of a story breakdown. It's been rented out for the last, I wanna say 30 plus years. I knew a bit of the owner. She was an older lady, and she actually recently passed away. And so the son, who lives out of state, didn't really want to do anything with the property, and so decided to sell it. But the second I found out through the tenant that was living here that they were thinking about selling it, I knew in a split second that I had to hop on this deal. I mean, one, it's next door, but also I knew that it needed work. And so just a couple of weeks ago, the tenant actually invited me into the property. They were kind of moving out some stuff. I helped them out with moving out. And I could just tell there was so much opportunity with this property. So I called up the owner and said, hey, I know kind of the area. I'm very familiar with the house. I can make an offer. And after going back and forth with some negotiations, we ended up on a price for $430,000. That price off market, which is incredible given the comparables in the area. And I knew that it could easily sell for $600,000 plus. We actually got the appraisal report about a week or so ago, and the value of this current as is was over $700,000, which is insane for this kind of property. A 2-bedroom, 1 bath, under 1,000 square feet, but with an insane, huge, big backyard. So kind of walking you through the actual interior of what we're gonna be doing to this property. Once again, it's gonna be an entire rehab, but really the cosmetic stuff, at least in the living room, definitely a new paint. Windows, we actually have a brand new window, just one. The rest of them, we're gonna have to replace. There's definitely some cracking along the ceilings and walls across the entire place, but we'll also be, patching that up or just ripping out the sheetrock behind. We'll do those kind of renovations, of course. We have somewhat of a popcorn ceiling above. We're definitely gonna have to take that out, hopefully without damaging my workers' health. So we'll definitely take that into consideration. Ripping out all the carpet. We wanna put some nice, beautiful, warm tone flooring. That's our signature go-to colors. Definitely a nice paint job, like I said, with a nice neutral color. We usually go with white dove, absolute favorite kind of color. As far as the fireplace itself, I probably won't be messing around too much with the actual structure of it, but definitely maybe a nice light tone paint on top of it. And potentially, I'm considering this, you let me know if this is the right move, but putting an electric fireplace built in, which would add some nice modernness to the property. Front door, definitely needs a new front door. Of course, some nice recessed lighting throughout the entire house. So brand new electrical, brand new plumbing will be going in because this thing is outdated, hasn't been touched. Probably the only thing that has been touched in the last 30 years, I want to say, has been the roof in the last 3 or 4 years. And that's pretty much it, nothing much. So moving on to, actually, now that I just got reminded of this, we're gonna be ripping this out and putting a brand new HVAC system with nice vents throughout the entire house for heating, cooling. And once again, that's a nice modern upgrade, of course, that I think a lot of buyers will definitely find some interest in, because this is old school and doesn't really look nice in the living room. Moving on from the living room to the dining room, we're actually gonna be ripping out this entire section here to make it a lot more seamless and open concept from the living room into the dining room. So here we have more of a formal dining room, which also leads into the full kitchen. We're gonna be ripping out this entire kitchen completely, taking out these walls, and the idea is to raise it up all the way to the top and get it flush, or at least leave a nice beam. Potentially there may be space to add a nice kitchen island, which would be nice if we can potentially get rid of this section right here. So this is where the issue comes about. First of all, we have a water heater right in the middle of the kitchen, which is a no-no. We're actually gonna be taking this out to the exterior and transitioning it into a tankless water heater. Right behind it, not sure if you can see it, but we actually have a fireplace, which is the one in the living room. The idea is to take that fireplace out, at least keeping the front of it there. That would allow us to have a way more open concept kitchen, which would be freaking amazing. Because now we have a full kind of U-shaped kitchen, so a lot of openness, and as well as a nice, beautiful kitchen island with some nice high ceilings. That's the goal. Keeping everything kind of where it's at in terms of the location. So stove with a nice vent going outwards. The sink will probably stay the same because they have a window there. Definitely tons of natural light into the nice big backyard, which is gonna be the highlight of his home. Dishwasher, sink, stove, and then we may have to configure the fridge in the corner if we're able to take out the fireplace. The tenants actually had a washer over here, which we'll take out into the garage, which I'll show you at the end. But that's pretty much for the kitchen. The design here, I already have some ideas of it, but the person behind the camera, my beautiful girlfriend, will be helping me designing this kitchen. Probably going with the lighter tones, but we may add a touch of color just to make it pop. So some nice features that will add and elevate this home and modernize it. Because right now, in its current condition, it is pretty bad. But I know, I just have a vision for it. It's gonna look absolutely beautiful. I almost forgot. This thing is, the second I saw this, I was like, this house is for me. Because this thing is old school. The tenant was saying that it just needs to be connected to this actual thing. So I guess the wire was cut, but it actually worked just until recently, until this was disconnected. But we may have to keep that and potentially save it as a souvenir for one of the flips. Recessed lighting in here, of course, for some nice lighting, natural lighting, of course, from the outside. We do have a lot of natural lighting. They're hidden by these curtains. We'll be changing out this old school door for a nice sliding door. Potentially, maybe even a French double door, but most likely the sliding door. Moving on to the bedrooms. Once again, it's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. The bathroom is right here. This is where the most change is gonna be. As of right now, it's very not functional. It's very tight. It's very outdated. I don't even know what this is. And then you have some old school, kind of weird looking mirrors. The idea is simple. Taking this shower, putting it against this side of the wall, raising and elevating the, what is this called? The window, and making it smaller and more privacy. And that will allow, as soon as you walk into the bathroom, you see a beautiful tiling all the way to the top, to the ceiling. That will allow for now a vanity, a nice big one, to be put behind here, because right now we have a toilet, and the toilet will be fixing and putting it over here right next to the shower. We may have to change the door location, meaning that way it swivels this way instead of this way. But it's gonna be beautiful. The moment you walk in, you'll see a nice, beautiful shower. We may have to leave a tub. As far as a tub, we'll change it out, but put a tub, because it is a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. They may have kids. If it was a 3-bedroom or 2-bedroom, 2 bath, then we can have a bath and then a full shower, walk-in shower. The idea is to put some nice tiling, and the rest of the house would be vinyl planks, which would add a nice flow of the house, but also keep this nice and sturdy and functional. Next up, we have bedroom number 1 and 2. Let's go into this bedroom. It's the bigger one of the two. I mean, I've always said this before. There's not much we can do in bedrooms. It's just 4 walls and a closet. Closet, we will be extending it a little bit bigger. There's a lot of space inward, so we'll probably cut a little bit of this and then add some nice, accordion closet doors. Changing out, once again, all the windows in this. Recessed lighting, changing out the doors, the door fixtures, doorknobs, changing out all the outlets. That's pretty much it in this bedroom. Moving on to the last bedroom, which is probably the smelliest one. They had, I don't know what they had in here, but it stinks. So we'll be in here for a bit, but once again, same thing, outlets, window, lighting. That's pretty much it. And the closet behind us. Let's get out of here, because it stinks. Lastly is gonna be the backyard, which once again is the highlight of his home, which I'm really excited for. We have these curtains just for privacy right now, but check this backyard out. It is massive. I believe it's about 5,000 square feet total lot size. I mean, look at this. It is huge for the actual house that you're getting. On one side, we have the detached garage, one car garage. I had started planning out two different options as far as purchasing and having an exit strategy. I could buy it and potentially flip it and make a nice, decent profit, which I'll show you the numbers in a bit, or keep it as a rental and then potentially add an ADU in the back, which would add one to the value, but then potentially a nice rental for with some nice cash flow. Potentially rent out the front house, 2 bedroom, 1 bath for about 2,500, and then the ADU would rent out for another 2,000. So about 4,500 in total. The thing is, after running some numbers, it makes sense on paper, but the time and the actual cash flow, like net in my pocket, wouldn't be like life changing. Instead, if I flip it, it's definitely life changing, which I could then take and do more flips or buy other rental properties that will definitely cash flow a lot higher. So as of right now, having that capital and building out more capital is the goal and the strategy as of right now, and then potentially down the road, continue buying more rental properties on the side. With that being said, let's move on to the garage. I believe there's still a lock on the garage. I have to open that up, but as of right now, it's just a 1 car garage. Not much in there. It's dirty, it's ugly. We'll have to replace the garage door. Exterior, we'll be keeping the same siding, just patching up and repairing any of the imperfections that it has. We actually have a new fence because yeah boy and my dad, we actually put up a new fence. Pretty much we won't be doing any fence repair or work other than the side gates on each side. This whole entire section, I have a vision of it. I may have a picture that I can show you. I used ChatGPT to kind of help me redesign this spot here. Not sure if I'll go with that exact same design, but something similar, opening up and extending out kind of a small deck, and then definitely replacing each of the sidewalks because right now they're broken and they're kind of, falling, leaning this way. It's already broken here. As far as the actual backyard, since we're not going with the ADU route, we'll be just keeping this exactly the same. A nice, simple design overall. So now let's look at the numbers. This deal, the second, I didn't even have to analyze it just to know it was a deal. But for more precise numbers, I definitely had to analyze it using my handy dandy calculator. So here we go. Purchase price, $430,000. My ARV, once again, the ARV value came out about $710,000. Conservatively speaking, just given the market and kind of where it's at, given the interest rates and homes not selling as quickly as before, I'm being very conservative. Even though it's valued at that price, we're still kind of in the spring season. I'm trying to shoot for about a July, maybe early August sale. And if I'm being very conservative, my ARV would potentially be around $650,000, which is the price that I hope to sell it at. If all those numbers work, the rest of the numbers will look like this. The actual rehab, about $55,000 in renovations. That includes the flooring, the painting, plumbing, the electrical, any repairs to the siding, windows, kitchen, full kitchen remodel, full bathroom remodel, about $55,000. So our total hold time is about 120 days. My down payment on this one is 10% down, so about $42,000. I'll be having the lender cover all of the rehab costs, so I'm zero out of pocket for rehab. My purchase closing costs, about 3%. Lender points, 1 point. My interest rate on this property is 10.25. So my utilities, I estimated about $500. So in total, my cash investment that I need to buy this house, which I already sent, it was about $73,000. On the selling side, my closing costs was about 1%. My commissions that I'll be paying out. So on one hand, I have the opportunity to represent myself as the owner and the listing agent. So I'll be charging myself about 2% in commissions as the listing agent and another 2.5% for the buyer's agent, which has put us at about $35,000 in resale costs when we sell it. So if we were to put all these numbers together, if we sell it for $650,000, we subtract what we bought it for $430,000, $55,000 in rehab, $12,000 in closing costs for the purchase side, almost $4,000 in lender points, holding costs about $13,000, resale costs another $35,000. Our gross profit should bring us around $98,000 in profit, which is not bad for a 2-month flip. And if we were to get $700,000 like the ARV appraisal report came back at, that would be just the cherry on top, which would probably come out to about $140,000. But even if we make 98 or 100, I'm still cool with that. For 2 months worth of work, I'll take that any day. So if you want to see and follow along this entire project and renovation, definitely subscribe because some amazing things are about to happen and changes are about to happen to this property. I'll see you there. Peace.